Well, you guys. Well, this is it's gonna be the second episode of Fanfics. This is, oh god, there's just walls and walls of text you guys wrote for me. Just walls of them. God. Okay. Well, we're gonna go ahead and start with Perky's. A sequel to my last fanfic. This was the worst day of Zen's life. Things had been rough in his relationship with Horse ever since he caught Horse cheating on him with a young, more attractive man. Today was the day that Zen was moving out on his own. Zen didn't know what to do anymore. Horse was his life, and Horse threw it all away for another person. Zen arrived at his new apartment, dejected at the sight of an empty bed without Horse in it. Zen collapsed on the floor, but before he could fall asleep, his phone beeped with a notification. Zen groggily rolled over and checked his phone. Oh shit, Zen said as he looked at his phone. The notification was for the Texas Social Worker Gala that was starting in an hour. The gala that Horse and him were going to go to. I really don't want to go to this, but my boss will kill me if I don't, Zen thought. Zen took his time as he meticulously put on his fancy tuxedo that Horse bought for him for his birthday. As he finished the bow tie, one small tear fell from his face and landed itself onto his pocket square, which had embroidered onto it to my one and only love, Horse. God damn it. Okay. Zen turned towards the mirror to compose himself before he left his apartment. You can do this, Zen. Just shake a few hands, have a few drinks, and you can leave when no one is looking. Then you can go home and do a 2SR stream and shill some money, Zen told himself in hopes that it will lift his spirit. That does sound like me. Zen got in his car and soon arrived at the gala. As he pulled up to the valet, Zen saw a sight he never thought he would see. Fuck a duck! What is he doing here? Zen exclaimed, to his surprise. Horse was walking to the front doors with his new mare. What is he doing here? Zen slowly began to put the pieces together. Horse met this mare at last year's gala because she works at the Dallas office. Before Zen could even speed off in a rage, the valet was banging on his window, waiting for them to hand him his keys. Reluctantly, Zen got out of his car, handed his keys to the valet, and somberly trotted his way into the large, spacious building. This is getting interesting. I'm actually into this right now. Immediately, Zen was bombarded with handshakes and greetings from people he barely knew or remembered. There were so many people here that Zen could barely even think to himself. Zen got himself a drink and found his way to a quiet area at the bottom of the large staircase. Zen pulled out his phone and checked Discord, only to find Emily and Ren bashing him and saying, Zen bad! And Ika is in there saying something about tentacles and telling Zen he needs to play more Underrail. Well, this is all completely accurate so far. Zen, not being able to handle the constant bullying, put his phone back into his pocket and began surveilling the room. He then spots Horse and his mare talking with the governor of Texas and former President George W. Bush. That should be me talking to them, Zen muttered to himself. But before he could finish that thought, he heard the orchestra stop playing and heads turn in awe towards him. But not actually towards Zen. People were looking at the top of the staircase. Zen slowly turned his head and was awestruck. What Zen saw was the most elegant, beautiful person that had ever crossed his eyes. At the top of the stairs stood a tall woman in an expensive, elegant pink and red lace dress with small flames. I think I know where this is going. Stitched into the bottom. She had glistening, dyed silver hair, which stopped short of her shoulders. She graced... No! Oh, fuck. She gracefully walked down the stairs, and as she reached the bottom, she turned to Zen, and Zen could swear she stared right into his soul. Zen was moved by this look, and before he could realize it, she had slowly disappeared into the crowd. Who is that woman? Zen thought to himself, and like God was giving him the answer, he heard the whispers of the crowd almost at once. Pyro. Zen had heard of this mysterious Pyro from others in the office. No one knew anything about her. Allegedly, she was the governor's wife. Others said she was placed in Texas by the president to watch over all social workers in the state. No doubt that she had the power, though, because she strutted around the room as though she had all of it. Zen stood around for an hour, just sipping his drinks and observing the room of people chatting and laughing together. Zen wanted to go and socialize, but felt like something was keeping him where he stood. Then he heard a soft but loud voice resonate in his ear. So many people seem to be having so much fun, but here you are, just observing. Why is that, mystery man? Said the unknown voice. Zen turned in shock to see none other than Pyro standing next to him, with a quizzical look on her face as though she is studying every inch of him without breaking eye contact. Fuck me, Zen said in shock. Oh, straight to the point, are we? Mockingly said Pyro. Panics, Zen responded. Oh god, I'm so sorry. It's just that you shocked me is all. I'm terribly sorry. Zen bowed his head in hopes that she would accept his apology. What he didn't expect was to hear the most adorable but off-putting giggle he had ever heard. He looked up to her face to see her genuinely laughing at his blunder. When Pyro stopped giggling, she said, "You really are different from all these other men here, I can tell. You know, minus the part that you look like you could be 12 years old." Pyro chuckled at this last little jab. She turned and looked around the room, and as she turned back towards Zen, Zen said, "Do you even want to be here? Because I'm sure tired of all the politics of these old white men." Zen taken back a little. "No, not really. I just really came here to just keep up appearances." Pyro, with a maniacal but somewhat sexy look on her face, said to Zen, "Want to see something interesting?" Oh no. Oh no. Zen, unsure if this was a question of or flirtation, or if she was going to murder him, said, "Yes, sure, why not?" Pyro grabbed his small, childlike hands. "Really? Really?" And dragged him up the large staircase and opened the large doors that boomed as they slammed closed. Zen looked into the room only to see a room full of benches with handcuffs, a wall covered in leather suits, and a large spacious bed. It was a BDSM tent. Oh god. Zen stood there with his mouth open, unsure what to think of this. This elegant, perfect woman dragged him, of all people, into this room. What were her intentions? Before a word could even come out of his mouth, Pyro was dragging him towards the bed and whispered, "We will start off with whatever you want." And this is how this became the best day of Zen's life, and how Zen met his wife. Oh my god, the end. Okay. Okay, you guys. Okay. Alright. Well, I'll say it. I'll say it. That was good. That was a good fanfic. Pat yourself on the back for that one, Perky. So, this is Ren's story, you guys. Zen breathed in deep and let out a sigh. Fuck. He had just ended a stream for the evening. A viewer resetted him 5 times during that stream. Fuck, jump kick. That game sucks. He was mad. He had made it to the top of the 5 times. He was about to save the hot babe, but the sound of the donation notification rang each time before he was able to reach her. He got up from his Zen chair as he took off his headset. He ran his fingers through wavy, thick brown hair. He needed to take his mind off of Jump King. He had spent the last couple of streams trying to beat the game already, but today was the closest. "I need a fucking shower," he said as he walked out of his room and started heading down the hall. A pair of arms come up from behind and hugs his waist. "A shower?" said a voice seductively. Zen stopped walking. The hands moved slowly downward from his waist. Zen's body went stiff. He could feel their body lean onto his back. He felt a playful nibble on his right ear. "Wait," Zen stammered. The pair of hands slid further down and rested at his inner thighs. He felt a pair of lips against the side of his neck. Oh, God! Jesus, Red! "For what?" the voice said playfully. "Something tells me you don't want to wait." The pair of hands played with the zipper of Zen's jeans. The pair of lips continued to give him soft kisses on the side of his neck. He could feel his body getting hotter. He started to feel lightheaded. "Babe?" Zen closed his eyes. He could barely think at this point. There was only one thing that was on his mind. He placed his hands on the top of the hands. "Let's do a choreography of Shower by Becky G." What? What? Hell yes, babe! The pair of hands drops from Zen's lower body. The pair runs back into Zen's room. Zen looks up the song and they spend the rest of the evening dancing to the song. The end, you sick fucks. Okay. Alright. Alright. Okay. Well. That. Okay. Okay. Horse, play a little clip of the song during this video. Becky G shower lyrics. Okay. This is Perky's next submission. Here we go. Zen awoke, confused by his gloomy surroundings. It was dark, enough that Zen could see his outstretched hands. Feeling around him, Zen felt the cold, dank dirt and small rocks that had disturbed his sleep. He shivered from the chill of the floor. Zen stood up and inched his way forward till he felt a wall comprised of dirt. Panicking, Zen followed the wall to an end, to find an end to it. The problem was, there was no end. As the thought of where he had suddenly hit him, he shouted out, "Where am I?" There was no answer, but he knew where he was. Deep underground, abandoned in the deep shaft of his nightmares. Suddenly a bright white light shone into the hole, blinding Zen. "Who's there?" Zen exclaimed out of pure panic. The light dimmed as a shadowy, shirtless figure somberly found his way in front of the light. He had long, flowing hair, and he was carrying a small corgi under his armpit. The man calmly asked, "Are you hungry?" Zen was confused. The man almost sounded genuinely concerned for his well-being, despite most likely being the man who put him into this hole. But something odd struck Zen. The voice was recognizable. Zen's eyes adjusted to the shining light, and he was able to see a glimpse of the figure's familiar face. It was Perky! Zen was livid. "Perky, what the fuck? Let me out of here! What did I ever do to you?" cried Zen, almost in tears. "You know what you did," Perky said plainly as he pivoted on one foot and walked away. "Get back here, Perky! Damn it!" Zen shouted, but to no avail. Zen plopped down to sit, dejected and contemplating as to what Perky meant by, "You know what you did." In Zen's childlike mind, he never thought he had done anything to Perky to deserve this. Tears pouring down his face, Zen couldn't help but think about all of his friends and family that must be worried sick about where he was. At least he knew his Discord wouldn't even notice he was gone. Zen snapped out of his thought to the striking sound of rustling above him. Looking up, he saw the small corgi dropping a bucket with rope attached to it into the hole. As the bucket plummeted onto the ground in front of Zen, he looked inside to see a turkey sandwich and a bottle of Okay, you guys know me too fucking well. It's my favorite. Now I just need fries. Excited and starving, Zen quickly devoured the food, which felt like the best meal he had ever had. He never realized how starved he was until his eyes met the delectable turkey sandwich. He washed down the sandwich with a cool, crisp bottle of Gatorade. Content with the meal he had had, he decided to take a look back into the bucket to see if there was anything else he had missed. There was. A small bottle of lotion was nestled.
Death imminent.
Okay. Alright, here we go. He washed down the sandwich with a cool, crisp bottle of Gatorade. Content with the meal he had, he decided to take a look back into the bucket to see if there was anything else he had missed. There was. A small bottle of lotion was nestled at the bottom. Zen reached in and grabbed it, confused of its purpose of being there. What the fuck is this lotion for? You want me to j*** off or something? Oh, God. Oh, boy. Howled Zen. To Zen's surprise, he got a response. "It puts the lotion on the skin, or else it gets the hose again!" Barked back the familiar voice from a faraway room. Zen sat there for a second, confused as to what had happened to his once simple, meaningless life. Hesitantly, Zen stripped him. Okay. Oh, God. Hesitantly, Zen stripped himself of his clothes and... Oh, God. Okay. Alright. Okay. Zen stripped himself of his clothes and... and applied the lotion to his entire frail body. Once he was done, the bottle was placed neatly back into the bucket. To his surprise, the bucket whooshed back up the hole. With one solemn bark, the corgi was done with his job and began to walk off. Zen sat in the hole for what felt like hours. Lacking his sense of time was fucking with Zen. How long have I truly been down here? Zen thought to himself. Then a dastardly thought sprung into Zen's mind, either on the high of his great meal or his determination to escape. Zen began in his attempt to climb out of his hellhole. Zen plotted out what seemed to be the best way out, examining intensely the cracks and protrusions of the crumbling earth. Zen hesitated briefly, knowing he was no rock climber, having no experience of this sort of thing. Zen grabbed his first hold and lifted his small, feeble body in an attempt to grasp another hold. Slowly, Zen began to gain confidence in his lack of abilities and began to taste the palpable taste of freedom as he cleared halfway up the hole. But before Zen could grab another hold, the light dimmed. Zen darted his head up to see Perky standing at the edge. Startled from being caught, Zen lost his balance and soon fell down back to where he started. In an attempt to land on his feet, Zen's left foot struck the ground at the wrong angle. Exasperated by piercing pain, Zen collapsed to the floor. I think I broke my ankle, you asshole! Shrieked Zen as he clutched his ankle. No, please. Do no damage. Your skin like that. That will not do in the slightest, hummed Perky. Fuck you, Perky! Retorted Zen, but something about Perky's response unsettled Zen. Zen blurted out, Wait! Why the fuck are you concerned about my skin and not my ankle? Oh boy. Oh boy! Oh boy. Alright. Perky, with a maniacal grin on his face, replied, Because soon you will no longer have a use for that pesky ankle of yours. Perky began to smile more forcefully as he flicked his rings. Dog, I don't know what I'm reading right now. But your skin. Oh, your skin. There are so many more uses for that. Perky chuckled as he said this, but this chuckle soon turned into a soul-piercing laugh. Zen sat back in shock at what he had just heard. What the fuck? What is Perky gonna do to me? Is he gonna skin me? Fucking duck, this is crazy! This is insane! This is madness! I can't stay here! I have to escape! I have to! Zen got lost in his thought that he did not realize Perky was no longer standing there. Get back here, Perky! Face me like a man, damn it! Zen hollered in the hopes that Perky would hear, but it was no use. Zen could hear Perky nearby talking to himself as Goodbye Horses by Q Lazarus was blaring on the speakers. Zen could barely make out what Perky was saying. Perky stood in front of his mirror, applying makeup, wearing nothing but a thin shawl as Goodbye Horses played in the background. As he applied lipstick to his luscious lips, he muttered to himself a simple phrase. Would you fuck me? I'd fuck me. I'd fuck me hard. As his makeup was finished, Perky stepped back to examine himself in the mirror. Soon he was gonna be who he truly was meant to be. He was going to be Zen. Okay! Zen sat in his hole, crying out of fear about what was gonna happen next. Soon enough, though, Perky emerged and was standing above him, still wearing nothing but his shawl. Zen's eyes quickly locked onto Perky that was hanging... Oh god. Oh god. Oh god. Oh god. Oh god. Oh god. Jesus, Perky! Put something on! Zen exclaimed in disgust and seeing a part of Perky he never wanted to see. Oh, soon enough I will be putting something on. Perky found himself pacing around the hole as he spoke to Zen. Soon I will be wearing the most elegant, most beautiful and sophisticated outfit the world has ever seen. Your skin. Before Zen could even comprehend and respond to what he had just heard, the sound of metal clanged. The hole went dark. Perky had covered the hole. Oh, fuck me, Perky! You don't have to do this! I'm your friend! Please, God, don't do this! Zen fell to his knees, tears streaming down his face with fear, not knowing what might happen next. I must do this. I love you, Zen. Perky solemnly whispered. Water rained from above, in such a large quantity that it was knocked to the ground in the tumbling torrent. Gasping for air, he tried to swim, but to no avail. He was the only known adult without the ability to swim. Soon the hole was going to be filled to the brim with water. With his last breath, Zen sobbed softly, Perky, please don't do this. But it was done. Perky uncovered the metal lid to find Zen's lifeless body, corpse, floating at the top. Perky kneeled down, lifting Zen from his watery grave. Caressing his face, Perky lowered his lips down to Zen's ears. He whispered, Thank you for making me complete, Zen. Oh my god! That was fucking dark! Oh my god! What did I just read? There's a drawing in the fanfic tab that I need to see. Okay. Well then, horse, put it in the video. If it's not NSFW, put it in the video.
That's something.
I just received a compliment from Perky. Perky, within context, you are actually a brilliant author. Everyone in chat, like, give a clap for Perky. He's actually a really good author. These are good stories. Good job. Yeah, he deserves a hand for this one. These are some really good stories, I gotta say. Yeah, round of applause for you, Perky. Good job. That's good. All right, now we're on to the whim story. Here you go, Your Highness, the small, meek maidservant said as she finished buttoning up the back of the Queen's elegant dress. The Queen stood very tall, well over 6 feet with her heels on. This was a huge contrast to the maid's own height of 5'3". The hem of her black maid... 5'3"? I get the feeling that the maid is someone familiar. Someone very familiar. This was a huge contrast to the maid's own height of 5'3". The hem of her black maid dress slightly dragged with each step as she outfitted the Queen. The maid looked away quickly, trying not to blush from this intimate act. Do I fluster you, Zen? The Queen asked, looking directly into the maid's eyes. Her stoic gaze, both slightly terrifying and oddly tantalizing. I'm sorry, milady, Zen muttered, bowing her head for forgiveness. Please, the Queen said, with somewhat exasperated tone and slight eye roll. We've known each other for more than a year now. You can drop the formalities. It's Perky. The Queen said while she smiled in a comforting way to ease her maid's fear. The thought of calling her Queen something so informal filled Zen with utter glee. She had dreamed of this moment for so long. Was this finally the beginning of the beautiful romance that she had longed so hard for? Each day was an agony having to be so close to this object of immense beauty, but never being able to fulfill any of her fantasies. Come here, Zen, the Queen ordered. Zen quickly rushed forward to Perky, always at the Queen's beckon, ready, waiting, eager for what was about to come out of her lips next. What do you want in life, Zen? The Queen asked. Because to tell you the truth, it does not matter at all. Your only purpose in life is to be my own little toy, to serve me in any way that I see fit. You're a meaningless creature that is nothing without me and my other counsel. Well, all right. I'm glad I got this job. Zen flinched at the mention of the council. It was full of other royalty like the Duchess of Wem of Den. Oh my god, the Wem of Den. Thank you. Thank you. I'm very proud of that one. Sir Ika of Zenbadistan, Foxy the Great, Prince Horse of Stapleton, the twin princes Tam and Snipper, the amazing Wren, and many other powerful and influential people. You forgot Shura. You should have put Shura in there. Each much better than the lowly maid Zen. Queen Perky was known for letting her council each use her servants however they deemed fit. The thought terrified Zen, but she knew that the council was far superior to deny them anything that they wanted. I have a very, very special use for you, Zen, the Queen said in a highly seductive and almost threatening way. Follow me, little one. Zen did as she was told. Like always, a blind, very, very, very blind. Follow her to her superiors. The Queen led her down a long, hidden staircase to a solid wooden door and stepped in front of it. The Queen turned to look at her maid, sizing her up with her intimidating and beautiful eyes. There's no escape for you from here, the Queen stated plainly. Now go in. We'll see just how bad Zen really is. The room was filled entirely apart. The room was almost entirely empty from a large desk sitting in the middle. Zen looked inquisitively at her Queen. On the desk sat several monitors and other streaming equipment. Zen's face slowly began to morph into a look of horror as she realized what the Queen wanted from her. Sit, the Queen sternly ordered. Ever heard of a little thing called to-sub reset, Zen? The Queen asked with a twinkle of pure evil and genius in her eyes. No! No, 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 no! Zen started to panic and tried to run past the Queen and escape the room. Suddenly, members of the council appeared out of the darkness and blocked Zen from the exit, each one holding an almost insane expression on their face. Zen became utterly dejected as she realized that the Queen's earlier statement was the truth. There was no escape from her now. This was now going to be her life. Not so fast, my little octopus, the queen laughed. You have to fulfill your duty. Now sit. You won't like what happens if I tell you again. Zen sat in the chair. It seemed comically large for her minuscule frame. Her legs did not even begin to touch the cold concrete floor beneath her. Here's how this is going to work. Zenny-Poo, you are going to entertain me, my council, and my subjects with a lovely stream. If you get too SR'd, you will be beheaded. If not, you will live. You will live. I will reward you if you live with the greatest prize in all of the land, my body. The queen stated all of this simply. I need to survive, thought Zen. Not only do I get to live, but the only desire in my pitiful existence would be fulfilled. I have dreamed of attaining Perky for my entire life. I need this. Zen's face became determined as she began to set up her stream. She could do this. She knew that she could. All she needed was not to fail for the first time in her life. Zen began the stream and explained the situation to her chat. To anyone watching, her face screamed desperation and a want. No, a need for success. The entire kingdom watched as Zen continued to fail and fail again and again at her chosen method of entertainment. The beautiful horror of a game that is Jump King. Zen was covered in sweat and grunting like a mad woman. This caused viewership to drop drastically. This was good for Zen. Less chance of her losing her head before she could get some head. You guys. Zen looked like such a deranged creature while streaming that the entire chat and council started to feel pity for her, in the same way that one looks at a toddler failing to walk again and again. Chat began to want Zen's success because Zen was so bad. However, this seemed like an impossible task. Zen reached the second to final zone, almost completing the game and securing her freedom. Then she reached a sound that filled her with both dread and gratitude. The sound of a sub. She started to panic even more than before. Everything was on the line now. If one more person subscribed to her Twitch channel, she would not only be plummeted back to the beginning of this torturous game, but she would no longer be alive. Slowly, she continued to climb. She could do this for her love, her wife, her Perky. Zen suddenly started to actually be good at the game. Something she had never accomplished before, and something that all of the council and many subjects thought to be impossible. With one final press of a button, Zen did it! She reached the hot babe waiting at the top of the tower. Well, well, well. I do have to say that I am impressed, Queen Perky said with a coy smirk. Guess that you get more than one hot babe today. Zen burst into happy tears. She did it! This was the happiest moment of her life. Her smile was so big on her face that it hurt the cheeks on her adolescent-looking face. Queen Perky sauntered over to Zen and picked her up in a warm embrace. They stared at each other for a moment before sharing the most passionate kiss that the kingdom had ever seen. Let's go see if those fingers are good at more than just Jump King, the queen whispered into Zen's ears. Zen blushed deeply and became very, very excited. They walked away together, hand in hand, the whole council cheering them on. What happened the rest of the day is what Zen had begged and wished for from the moment she had met the queen. And the sounds that echoed through the kingdom were evidence enough of Zen's delight. A very happy ending. A very happy ending. Oh god, that was horrifying. Okay. Alright, Shura. I'm gonna need your link for your story. It was good. It was good. All the submissions were really good this time. Next time I'm gonna come up with a theme though, you guys. Here we go. This is gonna be the last story. Zen's POV. It had been a long day as usual. My niece had been crying all night for whatever reason, and I couldn't get much sleep. I was having technical difficulties and couldn't stream. I got a text from Horse. Oddly enough, he could. With the size of his hooves, you'd think it'd be impossible. Horse stated, "Hey! Have you been watching Twitch issues?" "I have." "Me." "Yeah? Weird, right? I asked some people on Discord if theirs was working, and they're also having issues." Then Horse responded, "What's even weirder is that no one else except for the people who follow you are having these issues. I contacted Twitch about it, but of course they hadn't gotten back to me." "Mate." "Huh, that's a new one. I'll contact Twitch later about it. Right now I just need some sleep." Horse then responded, "Okay, get some good rest. Hopefully these issues will be resolved." "Thanks, I hope so too." I put my phone on the charger, turned it off, and dozed off. I had the weirdest dream that night. I was in a strange looking house, specifically in a room filled Failed or scrapped paintings? I heard a rustling behind me, so I stood guard to try and defend myself. If whatever was making those sounds was hostile, a white sheet started moving, lifting high into the air. This can't be a ghost! There's no way! Those movies can't be stereotypical, can they? I thought to myself. All of a sudden, the blanketed figure neighed in distraught. I questioned it for a second, then I realized it was Horse! Who else could it be? I ran over to help him out, and for a split second I could tell he was just as scared as I was when I found myself here. Although he seemed relieved when he realized it was me by his side. Nay! Thank goodness you're here. I went to bed and found myself under the sheets thinking I was going to be suffocated. It's alright for now, but first we have to find out how we got here. If you're here, there's bound to be more. I heard a quiet groan behind me, and the floor creaked as another figure had risen from behind a covered painting. It was Abakage! She stood there rubbing her temple as she had a terrible headache. Where am I? She asked, clearly confused as how she had got there. Not sure. As far as I know, this is an old abandoned mansion, I replied. She seemed quite surprised to see me here. I can't blame her. If I woke up in a place like this and happened to see someone I recognized, it would be a little concerning for me too. Curious, I find a door and open it. Abakage and Horse fall closely behind me. It leads down a small hallway, then to another room with an open window. It's raining and the thunder startled Horse. It's okay, Horse. Wherever we are, I'll make sure we make it out, I say, which seemed to calm Horse down a bit. Abakage walks over to the window. Hey guys, you need to see this. Me and Horse walk over to see the words. Just out of reach, on a wall, on the outside. All of a sudden the window slides down and locks, almost smashing my fingers in the process. I think I know where we are, Abakage says. She opens the door we came in and leads it to a different room, no hallway. We're in the first layers of fear game. No! No! A fate worse than death! We're gonna be bored to death! Oh god. Oh god! Okay. Well, guys, that's all the stories we have for today. So, if you guys are gonna continue these fanfics, then we'll make it for episode 3 of these fanfics. And yeah, I guess there's gonna be Perky chapter 2 and Shura chapter 2. And if anyone else wants to make a submission, just let me know on Twitch, or if you're watching from YouTube, just leave a YouTube comment on this video. If you want to write fanfics, I'll try to get everybody in so that everyone can participate. Anyway, you guys have a good one. I'll see you guys in the next video. Later. Hey guys, I just wanted to end the video off with just saying a couple of quick words to you guys. You got us past 1,000 followers. You got us past 500 subscribers on YouTube, and I literally can't even believe it. We're more than halfway there to my goal on YouTube. It's kind of hard to fathom. Is thank you even enough? Like, where do I even go? I hope this video was good enough, but I'm not even the one putting it together. It's Horse. So, I guess thank you to Horse. Thank you to you guys, and Jesus Christ, we're almost gonna be partnered on YouTube. And like, I don't know. I hope my content is good enough. I don't know what to say. Like, I can't really gather my thoughts. This is some crazy shit right now. But I mean, I want to address you guys on YouTube. Thank you so much for watching all this content. Thank you so much for getting us to freaking halfway there to partnership in such a short amount of time. And this is crazy. This kind of progress is crazy to me. I just thank you guys. Thanks a lot. It's just from the bottom of my heart. Thank you so much. And I hope we can get to partnership soon, and I hope my content continues to like match up what you're looking for. And yeah, I'm like, thank you, fucking thank you guys. That's all I can think of. Thank you so much for all the help you guys are giving me right now. I just hope that I can keep meeting your expectations, maybe like in some alternate dimension exceeding them, and just yeah. Also, Carlos, thanks for the music you gave me for this video. I didn't want to forget that you asked me to put some of your music in my milestone video, so damn. Here's to the last little halfway we gotta get to YouTube partnership, you guys. Share the video, share my content, and hopefully we can get there soon. You guys always are like cool about it and always tell me that I'm doing a good job, but like, I just really hope that you're not saying that to make me feel better, and I really am like as good as you guys talk me up to be, and I'll try to keep improving and all that kind of stuff. So Thanks a lot, you guys. And I'll see you in the next YouTube video, alright?